And we're already halfway of our 6 presentations, which means this is the time for group number 4. Would you like to practice standing on the line? So you know how balancing act. And the 2 group leads, you dress almost identically. Very impressive. Whom may I give the microphone to in a moment? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, group number 4.
Thank you. Voznesensk, thank you, is a city with about 40,000 inhabitants, and while it's facing certain challenges like the IDPs, climate change, the economy, none of these challenges is really standing out. And at the same time, also the city has features that also are sort of common, I think, among many cities in Ukraine, and none of these really stand out. I think that is a great opportunity, we think, because the city we studied can be also an example for many cities, and therefore the things we studied for Voznesensk should also have a generic quality to think about in other cities. And we know that the city is doing its best to take many initiatives to improve the city. We know there's a lot of entrepreneurship in the city and initiatives to do great things, but we also see that these things are sort of very solitary, and therefore they lack leverage for more social coherence, and they lack leverage for more economic development. And as a result of that, it also means that the city will be struggling with also at some point to get external funding to get better improvements. So that's a sort of a thing that we kept in our mind when we looked at this city. And I'm going to hand over the microphone. Yeah.
On that side, but okay. Of course. Yeah, just, how does it work? This one? No. This one. Okay. Hello, everybody. So we are talking about Voznesensk, and this is the beautiful city in the south of Ukraine, in the Mykolaiv region. And I hope I'm standing right. So this is the map of the city, and as Bart mentioned, is about 40,000 people in there. It's a beautiful city with a lot of power, business, strong municipality, and many great things like rich natural resources. It has 2 rivers. It's in the south, which means it has a lot of sun. It's a very vibrant city. It has a big local business activity, like a leather factory, brick factory, small businesses, cafes, a good leverage of the medical reform. They have a big hospital with family doctors and multidisciplinary doctors as well. And existing urban activity, which means the city is lively. It has, for instance, a motorball competition, which is a thing and not a very common one. It has youth that is pretty active. They have festivals, food courts, etc. On the other hand, the city is close to the front line, and there was a battle of Voznesensk at the beginning of the war, and it was protected by its citizens, which is a very proud thing. Young people are moving out to bigger cities with more opportunities, unfortunately. However, it's also a hub for internally displaced people. So around 4,000 of them moved to the city and find their home there. One of the things that we notice is that the city has so many great things to offer, but lacks a local identity. What we heard from Victoria from the municipality is that what Voznesensk is about, what can be one thing that like highlights all the great things in town, and this is something we're in search for. And also the city has a lot of natural and artificial barriers. It's kind of spread out. It's a pretty long city, and it has kind of a couple of city centers. So there is no like urban cohesion. So we thought, okay, how we can, what lens can we choose, a theoretical lens, to look at the city? And we notice, again, the great things happening, but then we realized, do we have enough connection between them? What ties them all together? What makes them sustainable? And how we can kind of give birth to an identity and then cherish it and create it to for citizens to feel love for the city, to be proud of, not only because of the people, but the great place that is around them, how we can connect these things with one theme. And there are multiple ways of doing that that can create a kind of connect all of these activities together. And for that, we look at the map. We saw a lot of barriers, which is a highway with trucks going through the city, a railway just in the middle of the city, 2 rivers. Then we see points of attractions, the big residential areas, city centers, a medical hospital. And then we thought, can this be connected somehow? Can we create a space that locates all of these important parts of the city and unites them for better cohesion, for better like sense of place and identity in the city? We ask ourselves, how can this transit street in the middle of the city be transformed into a connector for urban identities? And for that, we created kind of a roadmap of what can be created and how this can all tie all the activities in the city and create an identity that is engaging for the citizens, so they can feel a sense of ownership, that can develop together with municipality and be actually an active participant of their city life and kind of co-create. And I'm passing a mic to my colleague.
So as soon as we found these main elements of the city and we decided to connect them together, we actually realized this street can become the main arteria for this city, arteria that will be attractive for the pedestrians and for the cyclists, because this road that is going nearby, it is the main road from Kyiv to Odessa, and it's full of tracks, it's full of cars and very, very high-speed traffic. And we can go through the streets together and see what is our proposals. The first thing and the starting point is you can see it on the this little map, is the children playgrounds on the river, which connects 2 sides of the city, from one side of the river and the second side of the river, creating a strong community around it, and also it is helping citizens to found themselves in creating this place. Second point, it is actually on the other side of the river, it is the food court which was created which we are planning to create on the base of the industry that is now not working, and it is an area that could be used for some needs of the local residents. Then we are slowly going to the
We realized that we have here the relay center, and yeah, we decided that we need to. We have a lot of interactions. There are the city government, center of administrative needs, school, bazaar, museum, stadium. And before the invasion, there are large concerts, and we decided to do it more pedestrian operated and redesign the street to the more walkable, more comfortable, to do the street place where you can feel part of the city, communicate with other citizens. We decided to do minimal automobile lanes, add bicycle passes, more greenery, more space for the communication, networking, businesses, some terraces, more open balconies, some pop-ups markets, maybe street festivals, and do it, prioritize it for the people to give them the ownership feel of this place. Their center is people-oriented center, pedestrian-oriented center. Maybe next slide will be Nika.
Yeah, and then we actually found, with the help of Victoria, the place that could be possibly the hub for the startups, the hub for the young people, hub for some educational programs that city needs, because it has a lot of newcomers, and it is extremely important to have a place where you can find a place to make your own thing or work, or maybe have some education or classes. And after that, we are moving to very interesting site. It is the site between a railway station and main bus station of the city. This place, as we know from the European experience, it is extremely important and and it has very big potential in sense of creating business opportunities and also creating community around it. It can be a place for people to socialize, to have coffee. Should be the place where people are coming to the city and having a very good opinion about city, starting from this point. So this is the railway station, and near the railway station should be also the place for young people and for youth to have place for them to have to do sports and to have the leisure activities. Yeah, and we are moving to the third micro district, which is now residential areas which was built during the Soviet times. So it is actually a little bit depressed, and we decided that it should not be like this. There should be more greenery. This place should be full of life. This place should be pleasant and attractive for the people, starting from the people who are living there, and also for visitors of this place, because this place actually like people of the Voznesensk recognize this district as a second center of the city. So this place is also extremely important. And last but not the least, there is also abandoned industry buildings that could possibly be a place for the new social housing project and for, of course, local businesses. This could create an extremely good opportunity for the community to be together and to create something together. And nada.
So a transit street can turn into a citywide multiverse of neighborhoods. Woo! And basically, those little points of attractions are now connected. They're now hubs where people can have a voice, can co-create, and this, we believe, will prove that the city identity can be created. It can only be created with its citizens, and the more involved people feel, the more involved people are in the city, the better city feels, the livelier it is. And this is a concept that can be, of course, transformed into a strategy and a roadmap. But we hope there is something for the municipality to take from. Thank you, everybody.
The multiverse is not only something for expensive American movies anymore, but also for your project. Thank you very much. We actually have 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 4 minutes for some questions and comments from the audience. So really well done time-wise. Now we have some expectations also from the room that if we have this time, then there should be some comments or questions. No pressure.
I was really pleased to see that so many different connections and respect that was given to the context and to the environment, to the people, to the suggestions from the people who work for the city as well, that obviously were listened to, and that you were very attentive to, as much as you could, to whatever opportunities socially, in terms of the natural environment, the economic opportunities for people and their desires for a more active sense of identity, belonging, etc. And it's also one of the few presentations today that's actually addressed some of the housing concerns, and we'd love to hear a bit more about that too. If you have a sense of how people's housing conditions and quality of their environment for living, immediate neighbourhood around those buildings, some of the collective spaces within the buildings, for example, the entrances and the space, the balconies, how the community within the building actually also could be strengthened, or if it needs strengthening. And you mentioned at the very beginning that there was a considerable number of people who were displaced, perhaps from the surrounding rural area, and I imagine many of those don't have many resources. Perhaps they need considerable support. So maybe they're older people too that don't have many resources to set up a new life. So I'd be really interested to hear how you wish to, embrace that new community. If you can expand on that, and the existing buildings, improving them.
Thank you very much for the question. And for the innumerable people at home, this was a question by Julie Lawson, and it's great to have you also at home. Anybody wants to respond to that? Oleg.
Maybe me. Yeah, it's like this condition of the city. It's like during the 20th century, it's transitioned from rural lifestyle to a more industrial and more urban. And this is quite interesting that both of these condition, its values already, and because it's self-efficient, inside of this town growing perfect food, and also it's productive city in many senses, and that's why it's like all this tradition could be transformed to more like a new contemporary version, but also interesting that maybe it is like a pivoting space which could connect and also inhabit quite a different activities, including housing and new lifestyle, not only entertain or I don't know, some kind of new social events could keep, but also new way of living and transform of all layers of life as well simultaneously. I mean, in a one whole, like a space which connected, and role of housing as a important part of this like a development, and especially social housing, and especially it could be a project which powered by municipality, and this is super important, like a huge strategy for the future, yeah, which has like powered by community. Yeah.
If it's really short, but it's actually time. If it's really short, you can add a sentence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for group number 5. Sorry, that was group number 4, I believe. Group number 4, no panic for the group number 5. You were just a hard skip to beat, I think.